As I sit in my kitchen, sunlight streams through the curtains, casting soft patterns on the worn table. I reflect on the cherished memories of my son, Jake, smiling from the walls, preserved in photos filled with laughter, birthdays, and echoes of family dinners long past. I think back to when he was a little boy, his boundless energy filling our home as he clamored for attention over spaghetti. Those evenings, with the sounds of clinking forks and our shared laughter, cradled a warmth that carried us through. I spent my life dedicated to raising him. Late nights, I bent over textbooks, guiding his schoolwork, and tucking him in with stories that instilled values of love and respect. I envisioned a bright future for him, dreams waiting to be unfurled. But now, in the solitude of my kitchen, I cannot shake the feeling that our once unbreakable bond has been overshadowed. I scroll through messages and photos on my phone, a bittersweet reminder of our past, the birthdays, school recitals. It feels like a lifetime ago. My heart aches as I see his wide-eyed cake face on his 8th birthday, a stark contrast to the strained interactions we now share. Leia entered our lives like a fresh breeze, charming and vivacious. I welcomed her, believing she would enhance our family. At first, her laughter wrapped around us like a warm embrace. But as time wore on, the charm I once adored began to reveal darker undertones. Subtle comments during family dinners turned sharp, each one weighted with contempt. "Mom, you really need to keep up," she remarked one evening, her smile never quite meeting her eyes. It stung. The gentle criticism lingered in the air, heavy like the aroma of the turkey I had spent hours preparing. As I watched her manipulate the conversation, my heart sank further. I recall the holiday meal where I felt Jake's gaze shift from mine to Leah's, confirming my fears that our connection had frayed. I tried to share my technique for turkey carving, a skill passed down through generations, but her icy glance silenced me. I became an outsider in my own home, a shadow lingering in the corners, disconnected from the joy I once helped create. Each encounter with Leah grows more isolating, and I watch as her power twists our relationships. The warmth I once fostered in Jake now feels hushed and suppressed. At times, I yearn to recover that bond, the effortless connection we had, warm and comforting. The mantra echoes in my mind. They can mute me at the table, never in my heart. With each repetition, my resolve strengthens. I need to find a way to reclaim my place and Jake's love before it slips completely out of reach. Understanding what lies behind Leah's facade is essential. The truth is the key to unearthing the connection I so desperately seek. Please confirm if you would like to proceed with Block 2. The first time Leia set foot in our home, it felt like the October sun breaking through the clouds. Radiant and lively, she chatted with infectious laughter, her charm enveloping us like a soft blanket. I remember my heart swelling with pride as Jake introduced her, his eyes gleaming with admiration. It should have been a day of joy, the beginning of a new chapter, but I couldn't shake the subtle feeling that something had shifted in our family's dynamics. Leah would eagerly help me in the kitchen, asking questions about our family recipes, her enthusiasm seemingly genuine. "This is amazing, Martha. You have to teach me how to make this," she said, her eyes sparkling. In those early days, I embraced her willingness to learn, hoping it would forge a bond between us. But beneath her outward charm, I began to sense an unsettling edge. During family barbecues, her laughter would ring out, but when I caught her watching me, just a flicker of a smirk curling at the corner of her lips, I felt a cold thread weaving itself into our gatherings. It was subtle, the kind of thing you dismiss at first, but I couldn't shake feeling like a player in a game I wasn't privy to. One summer evening, I found myself setting the table for a dinner gathering. The scent of herbs filled the air, mingling with the vibrant colors of the fresh vegetables I'd prepared. As I stepped back to admire my work, I caught Leah making a face at Jake, her amusement laced with something darker as she turned her back. It twisted my stomach in knots, but when I voiced my concerns, Jake would brush me off with a wave of his hand. "Mom, you're being paranoid." I wanted so desperately to believe he was right. The way Leah brought her own flavor to our family gatherings was charming. Everyone was enthralled. But behind closed doors, I heard the way she would mock our traditions, disguised as playful banter. "Really, Martha, you need to modernize your recipes. Who even eats these things anymore?" She'd laugh, her voice sweet but sharp, nudging Jake to join in her raucous laughter, leaving me to feel small and foolish. As the months passed, I found myself scrutinizing her every word and action, seeking the truth beneath her polished exterior. I started noticing how she bent the narrative to fit her needs in conversations, weaving her influence into our family fabric, quietly snatching control. If Jake and I shared a moment of laughter, she would redirect him, offering a different direction, often leaving me hovering in the backdrop invisible. Family photos adorned the walls, documenting our memories. New ones began to emerge, with Leah playing a central role. I recall the day we took a family portrait. It was supposed to be a joyous occasion, but Leah's bright smile felt like a flash of artificiality, a reminder that my presence was becoming more decorative than vital. The discomfort grew sharper. I felt the distinction of being on the outside looking in. During Jake's birthday dinners, I would watch as Leah orchestrated conversations, her charm keeping everyone engaged while I picked at my food, the warmth of family expanding to exclude me. The laughter felt like needles poking into my heart, a constant reminder of what I once held dear. One particular evening at a family dinner, the air crackled with an undercurrent of tension while we gathered around the table, aromas wafting from the kitchen. I watched Leah playfully push Jake with her elbow, snickering over his childhood stories. But when I shared a cherished memory, how I had stayed up with him during various childhood fevers, comforting him, Leah's laugh lit the room, but it felt wrong, laced with mockery. "Ah, sweet Martha," she cooed, feigning innocence. "But how boring. Who wants to hear about that? Let's talk about real adventures." A flash of hurt passed through Jake's eyes, but he shrugged it off. It anchored even deeper into me, the realization that our family structure was shifting beyond repair. He was drawn to her, his wife, the partner he pledged his loyalty to, and I was losing him, piece by piece. The once warmth of my kitchen felt stark, replaced by the echo of laughter that no longer included me. In the midst of it all, I couldn't help but wonder if I was alone in sensing this shift. Old friends began to comment on the dynamic. "It's so lovely how close Leah and Jake have become, but I always thought you were close with Jake too, Martha," they'd say, their words a velvet glove masking an iron fist. Those casual conversations held multitudes I dared not explore. I felt vulnerable, a mother stripped of her identity while her bond with her son frayed before my very eyes. Each incident added to a mounting anxiety over what Leah's true intentions might be. The more I observed, the more I was convinced that it was only a matter of time before I had to unearth the narrative she was crafting, that tapestry of manipulation woven with charm and ridicule. As I reflected on these revelations, the mantra whispered amid my thoughts, "They can mute me at the table, never in my heart." My resolve solidified with each passing day. I would not be a mere spectator. I would reclaim my story. The truth behind Leah's facade began to shimmer on the horizon, a light I was determined to chase. Please confirm if you would like to proceed with Block 3. In the dim light of my kitchen, the aroma of pot roast swirls like a comforting hug. But beneath the warmth lies a storm of emotions: hurt, anger, and an awakening resolve. I feel the need to reclaim my dignity and the precious bond with my son Jake from the grasp of his wife, Leah. I can no longer allow her manipulation to shape our family's narrative. My heart races as I set the table, the clinking of dishes punctuating the silence, each sound urging me onward. They can mute me at the table, never in my heart. This mantra fuels my determination. I know I must act decisively. I decide to host a Sunday dinner with family and close friends, hoping to create an atmosphere reminiscent of our past. Cooking has always been my way of showing love, and today I prepare my grandmother's famous pot roast, infusing the meal with memories of laughter and unity. The scents fill the air, making it feel like home again. As guests filter in, I take stock of the room and spot Leah's familiar charm, a magnetic energy that often overshadows me. I squelch the knot of anxiety in my stomach and focus on Mackenzie, my old friend, whose eyes twinkle with warmth as we exchange fond memories of Jake's childhood. I feel the weight of anticipation as I watch Jake interact with Leah. My heart sinks as he laughs at her casual remarks, but I refuse to let despair take hold. Tonight, I will draw him back to the love we once shared. Dinner begins, and as we settle around the table, I take a deep breath. "Jake, why don't you help me serve? It'll be just like old times," I invite, locking eyes with him and hoping to spark a connection. He hesitates for a moment, and I see a flicker of recognition. Perhaps he too remembers the comfort of our past. As he moves to help me serve the roast, I seize the moment to share heartfelt anecdotes from his childhood, creating an atmosphere thick with nostalgia. "Remember those Sunday mornings when we'd wake up and cook pancakes together?" I chuckle, trying to draw him in. Leah interrupts, a sly smirk hovering at the edge of her mouth. "That sounds so quaint, Martha. I mean, who wants to talk about boring childhood memories?" The bite in her words laces the air with tension. I throw a quick glance at Jake, searching for a sign that he feels the prickle of her comments. I refuse to let her distract us. But those memories are what make us who we are. They're the foundation of our family, I assert, lifting the pot to serve Jake, imbued with renewed determination. For a fleeting moment, I catch the warmth in his eyes, a spark I wish to fan into a flame. Throughout dinner, I weave in more family stories, drawing Jake further into the tapestry of our shared history. Each story serves as a thread connecting us, reminding him of the warmth we once had. As our laughter rises, I see a light ignite within him. Leah's attempts to steer the conversation elsewhere become increasingly evident, and I feel my resolve deepening. "How about we talk about how I taught you to ride a bike? You were such a tough nut." I conjure up that evening when I supported him, running alongside him until he finally rode on his own. Jake's laughter bursts forth, and I feel victorious even as Leah's discomfort becomes palpable. As the meal nears its end, I sense Leah's frustration swirling beneath her facade, and I seize this moment to reaffirm our family bond. Family means everything, and these memories are what keep us united, I declare, meeting Jake's gaze earnestly. Finally, as I catch Jake's eye and hold it, I see the reminder of his childhood shine brightly back at me. In this moment, I know I have won a small victory, and as the dinner concludes, I can feel the tension, if only slightly, shifting. As guests depart, Jake helps clear the table, a quiet camaraderie building between us. I take a step closer, grounding myself in the hope that our relationship can begin to mend. "Do you remember our late-night talks, those beautiful moments of connection?" I ask softly. His silence speaks volumes, but in his eyes I sense a flicker of understanding. The warmth rekindled. I draw in a deep breath and prepare for the long journey ahead. Rebuilding our relationship will take time, but I refuse to let Leah's reach extend any further. As the night settles around us, I know this is only the beginning. My plan may have worked for now, but I need to dig deeper into Leah's manipulation if I want to reclaim my son completely. The truth behind her facade remains to be fully revealed, but with this developing plan, I am ready to chase the light ahead. Please confirm if you would like to proceed with Block 4. In the days following our dinner, the atmosphere around the house feels charged with a renewed purpose. I'm aware that I've only scratched the surface, but I refuse to back down. The mantra, "They can mute me at the table, never in my heart," echoes within as I embark on my investigation into Leah's true intentions. Determined to piece together the fragments of the puzzle, I begin observing the dynamics between Jake and Leah more closely, paying attention to her words and actions during those interactions that had once filled my heart with joy. I replay conversations in my mind, seeking patterns or contradictions, trying to catch the silken threads of manipulation she expertly weaves. Today, as I walk past the family room, I hear them laughing together. My heart flutters with both warmth and caution, reminding me that her laughter has always had a sharp edge. I take a deep breath and slip into the kitchen, pretending to clean. The washing of dishes is almost therapeutic, grounding me as I eavesdrop without shame. "Mom just doesn't understand," Leah states dismissively, her voice brimming with disdain. I grip the dish towel tighter, my stomach churning. She's stuck in the past, and you can't always be tied down by her memories. My heart sinks deeper at her words, a clear jab meant to alienate Jake from his past and from me. "She still loves you, you know," Jake replies softly, an undercurrent of unease threading through his voice. I pause, feeling a flicker of hope, but it's quickly extinguished by the weight of Leah's influence. "Of course she does, but you have to think about your future. Just let go of her old stories. They're nothing but dust now," Leah reprimands, the condescension stark in her tone. The way she frames my memories as insignificant terrifies me. After eating dinner, I sit in the living room, my heart heavy with conflicting emotions. It's evident that Leah is determined to erase my presence, yet I can't afford to retreat. I need to gather more evidence to expose the way she manipulates Jake's perceptions. I decide to craft a plan, not just to confront Leah, but to help Jake see her true nature. I commission help from a close friend, Linda, who has been my confidant during this tumultuous time. Her wisdom and support bring me solace. We meet over coffee, the faint sound of laughter from other patrons mingling with the coffee machine's whirring. "I know Leah has a charm that draws people in, Martha," Linda says, her brow furrowed in thought. "But it's essential to show Jake what her charm conceals. Perhaps you should document the moments that concern you." I nod, a new idea sprouting within my mind. It's one thing to face her directly, but exposing her manipulations with evidence will pack a more powerful punch. Over the next few days, I keep my phone close, documenting interactions, taking notes on her behavior during family gatherings. As I gather my observations, the patterns become clear. I see how she manipulates conversations to create divisions, planting seeds of doubt in Jake's mind. I record instances like the time she mocked my culinary traditions or ridiculed the stories I shared. Each note solidifies my resolve, making my heart race with determination. I'm also vigilant about Jake's reactions. There are times when the fog of manipulation lifts from his eyes and I can see him wrestling with conflicting emotions. I realize I'm not the only one who feels trapped. Jake is caught in a web of his own, struggling between loyalty to his mother and his commitment to his partner. One afternoon, while leafing through old family albums, I revisit treasured memories. Jake, little more than a toddler, grinning broadly with cake smudging his cherubic cheeks. I run my fingers over those photographs, remembering the warmth of holding him close, imparting lessons wrapped in love. That's the connection I need to revive. As I sift through these old memories, I stumble upon an old video recording. The footage shows a family gathering filled with laughter, including my mother, whose steadfast love had always guided me. My heart swells with nostalgia. I decide to leverage this precious piece of history to not just remind Jake of the good times, but to illustrate how love can transcend the shadows that threaten to consume us. That weekend, I invite Jake for a casual dinner. As we share a meal, I casually mention the old video, gauging his interest. I found something while organizing. A video of your 5th birthday party, I say, testing the waters. We had the best cake, remember? His eyes light up with curiosity, and I feel a surge of hope. Really? I thought we lost all that stuff, he replies, a hint of excitement in his voice. Seeing his delight, I feel a rush of purpose. This could be my opening. Let's watch it together, I say carefully, keeping my tone light. It would be like digging into a treasure chest of memories. He smiles, the warmth in his eyes making my heart swell. We settle down on the couch, and as I cue the video, I watch closely for his reaction. The visuals flood the room with laughter and chaos from long ago, and I see Jake's face melt into soft nostalgia. I had so much fun back then, he exclaims, a soft smile forming at the corners of his lips. As the video unfolds, I catch glimpses of his young self, so innocent and carefree. I remember those moments of pure joy, the unconditional love that enveloped our family. Jake's laughter echoes against the walls, and for a moment, it feels as if nothing can disturb our bond. But as the video ends, reality creeps back in. I sense Leah's shadow lurking over us, and I know she wouldn't take this lightly. My heart thuds in my chest, knowing I need to prepare for whatever comes next. I can see that Jake begins to realize that those cherished moments were cultivated through love, not just naive memories. I feel the fog lift a little more. The light shines clearer. The evidence I've amassed serves as my shield against her weaponized charm, a way to unsettle the facade she continually hurls over Jake. In a sense, I am teaching him to separate love from manipulation, to carve out his own narrative amidst the tangled web Leah has spun. The journey isn't over yet, but I can't help but feel a flicker of hope. The truth is rising to the surface, and I am ready to confront it, ready to reveal the light behind the shadows. The knowledge I've garnered will arm me for the impending confrontation, and I feel once again, as a mother, I must fight fiercely for the connection I've always cherished. Please confirm if you would like to proceed with Block 5. The air is taut with anticipation as I prepare for a confrontation with Leah, and I realize that this moment is pivotal. By now, I've pieced together a tapestry of her manipulations, and I see the danger she embodies. A mother's instincts are primal. They tell me she seeks to sever the bond between Jake and me, erasing the love we've forged over years. The flicker of hope ignited within me fuels my determination. I decide to arrange a family dinner, where I'll confront Leah and the issues festering below the surface. For the first time in what feels like forever, I pull out my grandmother's old china, carefully setting the table with care and intention. The clink of dishes and the subtle flicker of candlelight conjure warmth, masking the storm brewing within me. When Jake arrives, his smile feels like a reminder of everything I'm fighting for. As he embraces me, I breathe in his familiar scent, one that takes me back to childhood, a combination of fresh soap and innocence. But I know I cannot dwell in nostalgia. I must remain sharp, tactical. Tonight is about truth. Leah enters shortly after, her energy radiating confidence. I hold on to my mantra. They can mute me at the table, never in my heart, whispering it quietly in my mind to bolster my resolve. The evening begins with pleasantries, laughter echoing off the walls, a familiar background hum that makes my heart feel heavy. As we progress into dinner, I'm acutely aware of the dynamics shifting around the table. Leah engages Jake, her sarcasm wrapped in humor, her smile always present, yet I know the malice underneath. Martha's still stuck in the past, isn't she? She quips lightly, but the edge in her voice is unmistakable. I respond with an even tone. You know, Leah, our past isn't just clutter. It's our foundation. It shapes who we are. Jake's eyes flicker between us, uncertainty painting his face. I take a daring leap into the dark. Remember that birthday party video we watched, Jake? Those were moments of joy built on love, don't you think? He nods slowly, the sincerity behind my words piercing through his growing confusion. I watch the gears turning in his head as I lay the groundwork for the confrontation. Each shared memory becomes a stepping stone back to the bond we once had. Leah, sensing the shift, tightens her grip on the conversation, even going so far as to suggest family memories are overrated. What we need are plans for the future, right, Jake? The way she glances at him makes my throat constrict. It's clear she's trying to rewrite the narrative. Her narrative. It's important to balance both, I interject, keeping my voice steady. Our past is part of our present and will shape our future. The words hang in the air between us like a challenge. Jake visibly squirming, I dive deeper, ready to unveil the truth I've amassed. Leah, I've noticed things. How you speak about our family, how you mold Jake's views around your opinions. It feels like you're trying to erase the past, I say, my voice carrying more strength than I feel. The air turns electric as the implications settle in. Her expression twists, surprise mixed with indignation. Martha, don't be ridiculous. I would never want to erase anyone, she retorts, feigning innocence. But I see the shift in her demeanor. She's exposed, and the facade begins to crack. Are you sure? I pursue, my heart hammering in my chest. Each time you dismiss our history, you're not just dismissing me. You're diminishing Jake's experiences too. You think tearing down my stories builds you up? I can feel the tension thickening, swirling around us. Jake's eyes dart back and forth between us, the uncomfortable tension causing silence to envelop the room. Tension is palpable as guilt seeps into my heart, the fear of losing my son clawing at me. Leah swallows hard, but the anger flickering in her eyes betrays the sweetness she tries to project. You're being overly emotional, she scoffs, as though demeaning me somehow reaffirms her stance. Am I? I ask her, leaning in slightly, my voice lowering. Or am I just seeing the truth? Your attempts to mold Jake into the man you want him to be, what does that cost us? What happens when he loses pieces of himself trying to accommodate you? Jake squints, processing the words tumbling from my lips, his gaze flickering to his wife and back to me. I'm not trying to control him, Martha, Leah lashes out, her voice rising defensively, her mask falling further away. Is that so? I challenge calmly. Then why the mockery? Why undermine the memories that shaped us? Is it because you fear that Jake might choose the past over your constructed future? Silence engulfs us, and the tension is so thick I feel I could slice through it. Mom, stop! Jake's voice suddenly resonates, breaking the enigmatic tension. I just want us to be a family. His plea interjects the atmosphere, blending a sense of longing with confusion. I do want us to be a family, but we can't build on shaky ground. I counter, heart racing. I care about you, Jake. This is about protecting our bond, understanding how we can move forward without losing who we are. I notice the moment the facade fully crumbles, the vulnerable truth unveiled in his eyes. I see the internal struggle within him as he grapples with the realization that love does not mean erasing one's past. I'm tired of feeling torn between you both. Jake's voice trembles, the anguish surfacing. Why can't we support each other instead of tearing each other down? Jake, I'm not tearing anyone down. I soften, my heart aching at his distress. I'm standing up for our roots, for your values. Leah crosses her arms, her gaze intense as she measures Jake's words. I sense her surprise, uncertainty creeping into her expression. The hints of victory swell within me. I want him to see the complexity of his choices. You deserve to choose your own destiny, Jake, but that stems from understanding where you come from. And just like that, the walls I thought were insurmountable begin to bridge. I notice Jake's breathing steady, as if he's searching for clarity amidst the chaos. The truth is slowly buoying like a sail catching fresh wind. In that moment, I see a flicker of determination flash within him, a spark igniting that deep connection we once nurtured. The stark contrast between the warmth of familial love and the chill of manipulation becomes clearer to him. I brace myself as I lean in. We can heal, Jake, but it needs to be a journey we take together, not one of division. I plead earnestly. As the evening draws on, the tensions remain high, yet something new blooms amidst the fracas. I can feel the paradigm shift, the cacophony of accusations ebbing away, replaced by the fragility of open dialogue. Let's learn to navigate our scars together, I recount, willing the words to anchor us. The night spins onward, and I know I must continue to nurture this moment of truth. No longer cowering beneath Leah's carefully woven charm, I stand resolute, committed to safeguarding the love I hold dear. It's now or never. The truth has been laid bare, and I sense the tide turning in our favor. The light of understanding glimmers ahead, and I'm poised to chase it, ready to reclaim our family narrative, one fragile memory at a time. Please confirm if you would like to proceed with Block 6. The tension in the air is almost palpable as I gather my thoughts, ready to pivot the conversation with Leah and fortify the bond I seek with Jake. So, where do we go from here? I ask him, my tone steady despite the chaos swirling in my heart. I just want us to figure this out, Jake replies earnestly, worry etched across his features. His sincerity makes me ache with love. It's a bridge back to the connection we once shared, untainted by conflict. Before I can speak further, Leah erupts, her voice slicing through the fragile atmosphere. Jake, you can't seriously think this is a healthy line of conversation, she declares, leaning forward, arms crossed, a wall of fortification. Your mother is trying to twist your memories to set herself apart from me. Soon enough, you'll resent her. The accusation stings, but I hold my ground, unwilling to let her deflect. I'm not twisting anything, I assert firmly. This is a conversation about our family, our history, and how it shapes who we are today. Jake glances nervously between us, uncertainty clouding his expression. But can't we just somehow make everything work? He asks, the desperation lacing his words unmistakable. Jake, I say gently, resolving to guide him toward clarity. We need to embrace honesty to move forward. We can't ignore the fraying threads in this family tapestry. Leah's irritation mounts. What do you mean? She challenges, eyes sharp like daggers. This is just emotional manipulation. Let me show you something, I respond, willing to unveil the truth. I rise and retrieve the folder I prepared, a collection of notes documenting Leah's actions and comments that have eroded our family fabric. Silence envelops the room as I lay the folder on the table, landmines of our shared history. I've documented conversations that showcase these dynamics, I explain, urging Jake to read between the lines. You need to see how this has affected our relationships. As Jake flips through the pages, I sense apprehension building inside Leah, Fear flickers across her face for just a fleeting moment. The knowledge that her actions have been seen, finally laid bare for scrutiny. Look at how she has mocked my stories, I say, my voice steady as I guide him through specific instances. Memories rush back. Family gatherings turned sour by unkind words wrapped in sarcasm. This isn't just nostalgia, Jake. These moments matter. His expression shifts from confusion to understanding as he continues to read. I can see clarity flickering in his eyes. He's beginning to grasp the two-sided narrative of our family. That doesn't define my life, he finally states, connecting the dots. But these moments do matter. They inform who I am, where I came from, and what I hold dear. Leah tries to recover, her gaze hardening. Do you really think that's fair? She snaps. But Jake's resolve only strengthens. I'm not trying to alienate anyone, I say, my heart racing. I'm trying to ensure our connection remains strong. We can't continue on this path of hostility. Mom, this doesn't have to be a zero-sum game, Jake interjects, his voice steady but laced with urgency. My history and my choices are mine to own. I should be able to appreciate both of you without it becoming a contest for my affection. With every spoken word, I feel the ground beginning to shift, the tense atmosphere lightening slightly. There's a dawning awareness in Jake's demeanor, signaling he's ready to navigate this tangled web we've woven. I look at Leah, my determination sharper than before. Leah, if we're going to move forward, we both must commit to this notion. Honesty and understanding, I reason quietly but firmly. I'm not making promises, she retaliates, her voice defensive. Then you risk losing your family, I reply, heart pounding as I offer her the truth. If you truly care for Jake, you'll have to reconcile with what's being said. This isn't just my narrative to own, it's ours, and it cannot be swept under the rug any longer. In the depth of silence that follows, I've never felt so exposed yet empowered at the same time. Jake's gaze shifts away from us, contemplating deeply. This is his moment of choice, and the love we share hangs in the balance. With raw honesty, Jake speaks again, voice more resolute. Mom, it's not about parking blame. It's about redefining how we engage with each other moving forward. That's what family is. The words settle between us, powerful and definitive. A tremor of vulnerability and strength laces through his declaration, illuminating the depth of his desires. Hope ignites in the bitter air, a flame kindling in the spaces once filled with manipulation. Okay? Leah finally exhales, her posture softening. If we can talk openly, I'll try, but it needs to be mutual. I want that, Jake asserts, and a wave of relief washes over me. The three of us seem to breathe in unison as the tension begins to ease. As the night unfolds, I feel the tensions of the past slowly dissipating, making way for clarity and understanding. Each word becomes a thread in this tapestry we are weaving anew, one that honors our past while allowing the future to blossom free from the shadows of manipulation. Standing firm in this moment, I realize we are capable of rewriting our story, one raw truth at a time. The journey ahead may be fraught with bumps, but illuminated by love and sincerity, it's one worth taking together. The dawning understanding glimmering between us feels almost sacred, a rebirth of connection I could only dream of before. I am ready to embrace this fresh start, determined to nurture the bond with Jake and find reconciliation with Leah, one family memory at a time. Please confirm if you would like to proceed with Block 7. The atmosphere hums, a new current weaving between us as the conversation unfolds. Each moment feels charged with purpose. We hold on to the thread of understanding, determined to keep it alive. I can sense the urgency within my chest, the dynamic shift brushing against the edges of the room. As I look at Jake, his resolute expression reflects a newfound strength. I feel both proud and anxious. He's become a bridge between me and Leah. This is where everything hangs delicately, on the cusp of connection and clarity. Mom, I think what we need is to address the issues that have bubbled under the surface for too long. Jake begins, his voice steady. We need to confront what's been said and done without turning it into an attack. I agree, I respond, feeling the deep-seated concerns rise to the surface. This is about mending not just my relationship with you, but also with Leia. If we are to heal, we have to be honest. The silence has kept us stuck. Leia's brows furrow, a slight tremor of tension rippling through her. What do you mean by the silence? She questions, her tone sharp. It means the things left unsaid, I reply, my heart quickening. The moments when we stayed silent instead of advocating for each other, I should have spoken up before. What do you want to say? Jake interjects. His blue eyes search between Leah and me, urging the moment forward. Taking a deep breath, I step into the space filled with unspoken words. Leah, I felt like I've had to hide my feelings to avoid pushing you away. I've let your influence shape the narrative, staying silent while watching you tear into memories that mean the world to me. That's your perception, Leia responds defensively, but I press on. I need you to understand that when you ridicule my past in front of Jake, it diminishes everything I've dedicated myself to as a mother, I explain, pausing for impact. I've tried to be supportive, but it's difficult when you undermine my efforts. Jake shifts uncomfortably, and I can almost feel his heart beating in sync with my own. Mom, you have to let her know how it affects you, he encourages gently. Leia, I want to reclaim my space in this family, I say, voice steady but my heart racing. But it won't happen unless we face this together. We can't keep letting power dictate our interactions. Leia watches me carefully, her facade faltering as she processes my words. And what if I'm just trying to protect Jake from being caught in between? That's a choice you've made, but we cannot build a relationship on protection that stifles, I counter. I want Jake to hear both our stories, to feel our love in their entirety. Her brow constricts. You could nearly hear the wheels turning in her mind. I need time to think, she finally says, her voice quieter now. That's all we ask, I assert. But the door to dialogue needs to remain open. The urgency surges within me again. This moment feels like the cusp of something transformative. I glance at Jake and the corner of his mouth lifts into a slight smile, a blend of relief and gratitude. I want us to thrive, and I believe we can, but only if we commit to this process together. Together, I echo softly, feeling the words hang in the air like a promise. Okay, Jake declares firmly, a luminescence in his words. Let's make a pact to reevaluate how we interact. We'll set aside time for open conversations. Let's explore our feelings without judgment. A rush of warmth fills my chest, the familial connection finally pulsating back to life. It's essential we stay respectful. Let's remind one another of our worth, regardless of the clashes. There will be rough patches, Jake murmurs, but it will be a path toward authenticity. I never wanted to hinder such warmth, Leia finally interjects, her posture softening further, revealing vulnerability beneath her bravado. What I do comes from a place of care. Hearing those words, I catch my breath. The slightest glimmer of hope breaks through the tension. And that's all I ever wanted too, I reply, ready to embrace the process. We linger in the charged silence, feeling the weight lifting, a hush unlike anything we have shared before, filled with promise. This pain, nestled tightly in our hearts for so long, is now suspended in a space that feels almost sacred. Together, I whisper, eyes locked on Jake, we are ready to reclaim our family. The commitment hangs between us like a delicate thread weaving into our narrative. The cracks are still there, but perhaps they can guide the light of understanding into our family tapestry. As the night stretches on, a fragile resolve settles around us, a pact formed in honesty. I can feel a resurgence of hope, clarity, displacing the shadows of manipulation we've endured for far too long. Together, we're poised to navigate this delicate new terrain. Please confirm if you would like to proceed with Block 8.